Kalimera. It's the only Greek word I know, so don't try to test me. But good morning, I will do a presentation in English. Yannis was summarizing the day of yesterday, and this morning when I woke up, I always make some notes, and these were my notes from yesterday. And I was going through them to see, okay, what new thing did I learn? And some of the things I had written down was, first of all, we are here with like-minded people. I think I don't have to convince you about the cross-border opportunity. That's number one. One of the things I heard yesterday was shipping and returns are scary, especially when you go cross-border, duty, VAT, what about my returns, etc. Actually, it's not that scary as you think. E-commerce will change everything, and that's something I personally, truly believe in. In the presentation of the Greek e-commerce association, there was a lot of data and a lot of research, but one of the things I was seeing there, that was the age group 16 to 24 years old. That age group is actually growing the hardest in the light of cross-border consumers. And those people are really used to shopping cross-border, and they're used to shopping online. And those are the people who in a few years' time will start to make a very good salary, will want to spend their money somehow, and that is the people you want to reach right now. Yesterday evening at the keynote dinner from eBay, Ilya was talking about how nowadays 2-day, 3-day, 5-day shipping is not fast anymore. People expect actually 1-day shipping, 2-day shipping, etc. And also one of the things I wrote down yesterday was that, and that's completely in line with Mr. Casanova's presentation, I love the name by the way, is that 70% of e-commerce is logistics. And that's actually true. However, if I shop online, I sometimes have difficulties to find that information. And that is what my presentation is about, how you can use shipping and delivery options to really increase your sales. But before I do that, so these were the notes I written down, were a few new things I learned yesterday, but I want to do a quick test how well you know e-commerce. And last Friday was quite a big day in e-commerce land, of course, Black Friday. A lot of sales happening online, so I want to test your knowledge about Black Friday. So we're going to do that with a little quiz. We have prizes at our stand, so the one with the right answer can come to our stand and we'll have beautiful prizes. So let's have a look how well you understand Black Friday. You need to complete the sentence. 12% of all Black Friday shoppers are men? Men, okay, I have men here, something else? One-time shoppers, okay, good. One-time shoppers. DHL is excluded from the competition. So. New? They're drunk. This was a formal research, this is not something I'm making up. This is a formal research conducted by Retail Me Not. 12% of all Black Friday shoppers are drunk. Okay, next one, let's see if you know this one. Millennials are 5 times more likely, compared to baby boomers, to have made an online purchase from. And it's again complete the sentence. So millennials are 5 times more likely to have made an online purchase from their phone. Chat? Please. I'm impressed. This is actually, so I've asked these questions to more. This is actually the first time somebody gets it right. So please come to the DHL stand, it's just around the corner. We have a very beautiful coffee mug for you. But it's actually true. Nowadays, people are shopping everywhere. Once I was doing a presentation, at the end of the presentation, I asked the audience, okay, please guys be honest, who here shopped online during my presentation? And 4 hands went up. 4 hands went up, like, yeah, actually I was shopping online while I was listening to you. Because nowadays people are shopping everywhere. And people are shopping all the time. And people are online all the time. So the last question. And in Mr. Casanova's presentation, he showed the Europe numbers. but what's the size of the cross-border e-commerce market globally by 2020? So for those who paid attention to the previous presentation, they have saw the European number, but what's the size of the global cross-border e-commerce market? 3 billion? 3 trillion? It's actually right on. 1 trillion. So Yannis, also please come to the DHL booth to collect your prize. It's indeed 1 trillion. And that market that's 3 times the size and that market was in 2016. And if you compare cross-border e-commerce with domestic e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce is actually growing with twice the rate than domestic e-commerce. So that is where you want to focus on. And if you can see here on the slide, if you look at those emerging markets, they are actually growing 25% year on year. So imagine that you're selling to one of those markets. Your sales will increase so 25% year on year simply by tapping into that potential of that market. But for me, the most interesting thing on this slide is actually how consumer behavior is changing and what today's online shopper is actually looking for. Because in the age of immediacy, as I personally also always like to call it, you can order a taxi within seconds, you can order a pizza within minutes. Last night in my hotel room I was streamlining my favorite series on Netflix within milliseconds. But that's what today's consumer is used to. The days that you were ordering something in a Sears catalog or in a mail catalog and you were picking up the phone, making the phone call, yes, I please want to order this, okay, we'll ship it to you within the next 4 weeks. Those days are long, long behind us. And if you see on that banner example, 68% of millennials, again, which are the people who are starting to make very good salaries, they actually choose a retailer over another purely based on the delivery options and the shipping options which are being offered. And this is not just DHL saying this. If you look at some additional research, 91% of consumers are looking for the available delivery options before reaching the checkout. Or 46% of basket abandonment is caused by limited shipping options. But then why is it that if I'm shopping online, I really need to look for that information? Or I need to search for that information the moment I reach the checkout, that only then I can see, okay, what are the shipping options, what are the delivery options? In the previous presentation also, all the phone calls which are being made about the delivery time. So how can I track my parcel, when it will be delivered, etc. And that is something where you can make some really quick fixes on a website with one aim, to increase your sales. Because a lot of times that information is hidden in the footer of a website, or you need to do 4 or 5 clicks before you find that information. So you might think that you actually have a beautiful looking website, which looks like this, beautiful pictures, beautiful products, everything is there. But if you're not using those shipping and delivery options to increase your sales and to show what you're actually doing, it can be that you think your site looks like this, but it actually looks like this for the customer. Because the customer is not finding the information he's looking for. And in order to consult our customers with that, we have something which is the website health check. The funny thing is when this slide comes out, all the cameras go up in the air, so I will give everybody a second to take a picture. It's copyrighted, by the way. But this is a very simple 10-step checklist in order to check if your website is really open for cross-border sales. And I will not go through all of them, I will just go through a few of them to explain what we actually mean with it. So first of all, do you sell internationally? I think all the growth figures are mentioned a lot, but 2 weeks ago I was watching a video, which by the way I really advise you to watch. This was the opening debate of the World Trade Forum, where there were a few e-commerce specialists, and Jack Ma, an example, was also in the panel. Jack Ma, the retired CEO of Alibaba. He has said a few things in the past which actually all came true. The way how he's approaching the e-commerce market, I think, is really impressive with Alibaba. But he was actually saying that in the next 30 years, globalization will empower 80% of businesses. One thing what I really like what he was saying is that the big opportunity which is there is actually for the small to medium-sized businesses. He was not saying that companies like Alibaba or companies like Amazon will disappear, but he said the opportunity is actually for those small businesses. Because e-commerce land is changing so quickly, and the bigger brands out there, they might have some difficulties to change quick enough, which was one of the topics of yesterday's keynote speech as well at the time. And what he also said is that nowadays, if you look at world trade, most of world trade nowadays is seen in containers. He is saying by 2020, and that's not that far away, most of world trade will actually be seen in packages, regardless if it's business to business or business to consumer, because everybody is moving online, and everybody is buying online. If you look at the second one of our website health check, do you state on your homepage your shipping and delivery options? This is something very simple, but this is for me the most important thing. If you want to do something on your website to be open for international shipping, please do this one. We have seen examples where the information about shipping, the information about delivery options was hidden in the footer of a website or only mentioned in the checkout, an example. While if you put that information clearly as a banner on your homepage, I actually dare to guarantee you, you will see an increase in your conversion rate. And why that is happening is based on this picture. So let's go back a few weeks now to Halloween. Imagine it's Halloween. You have bought the best candy in the world. You put it in your house, all the best candy. You close the drapes because it's dark outside. And then you sit on your couch and you wait for the kids to knock on your door, sing a song, and take your candy. If with Halloween you don't follow the rules and you don't put this little pumpkin in front of your door, there will be no kid knocking on your door because they will not know you are participating in Halloween. So all the kids here will go to this house, they will not go to this house. And that's exactly the same in e-commerce. If people are shopping online, they want to know if you're open for international sales. They want to know how fast they can get their products. They want to know their delivery options. But they want to know that as quickly as possible. If they don't see that, they can easily click away, go back, and shop somewhere else, and spend their money somewhere else. And that is why positioning that information clearly is that important. Then, do you offer an express delivery option? Again, a lot of stats, you've seen a lot of stats during these days, so you're learning a lot of them. 91% of online shoppers will leave a retail website if things like fast shipping are actually missing. And what was mentioned yesterday evening at dinner, that nowadays people expect 1 or 2 day shipping. Actually, it's here somewhere, there. 47%, they consider 2-day shipping as fast. So 53%, they don't consider 2-day shipping as fast anymore. 1-day shipping is fast. And that is something you need to be aware of. And also this one is very relevant. It's also a bit in line with the comments of Mr. Casanova. I like to call you Mr. Casanova, sorry, it sounds better. It sounds better than Orlando. Of course, there's a lot of discussion about free shipping and asking money for it, and yes, it's too expensive. Nowadays, actually, that is turning. And when I say nowadays, I really mean now. Where indeed before it was all about free shipping. If you look at the newest research, you will see that customers are actually willing to pay for that premium shipping option, for that 1-day shipping options with guarantees, with full track and trace, with the option to take full control of the delivery. And that's something which is shifting right now. And as you can see here, 35% of consumers, they place a premium, or let's say they're willing to pay a premium for that fast shipping option and for that express shipping option. And that is something you need to be aware of. But then of course comes the question, yeah, but then what do I charge for my customers? Because if they are willing to pay for it, do I need to ask 50 euros? Do I need to ask 2 euros? What is it? And here is something where you really need to be smart and where you can have a lot of different shipping strategies. So let's look at one example. Imagine it's winter. It's getting cold outside and I want to buy a winter jacket. So I go online and I find the perfect winter jacket. This is the one I always wanted. I like it so much, the color is nice, it looks warm, $170. I'm willing to pay $170 for a winter jacket, a good one, good quality. So I go to the checkout, and I see I can have it next day, and it's getting cold, they forecast some snow, so I really want the jacket now because I like the jacket and it's getting cold. But I need to pay €20 for express shipping. This can actually result in the fact that I will simply cancel my order and look somewhere else. However, go back 1 minute, and now I find exactly that same jacket for the first time for $185. If I was willing to pay €170 for a jacket, transfer reply time also willing to pay €185 for a jacket. So imagine I find that same jacket for the first time for $185. I go to the checkout, and I can see I can have it next day for only $5 extra. I see all the ladies nodding like, yes, this is true. Of course I will click buy now. It feels like a bargain. Oh my god, this is so cheap. But this is what all the big retailers out there are doing. If you go to a company like Farfetch or Net-a-Porter, who are selling the t-shirts like this actually for a lot of money, they are promoting free shipping, but there is no such thing as free shipping. Free shipping doesn't exist because in the end you need to pay the invoice of Mr. Casanova, you need to pay the invoice of DHL. So there is no such thing as free shipping. But it's all about getting smart with your charges and getting smart with your shipping strategy. So some of the things which you can do is, of course, first of all, charge the right cost. Build an integration within your shipping provider like DHL, so that you can charge exactly what you will be charged to the merchant. But if you look at the bottom two, offer free shipping, but don't offer it for all your orders. Only offer it for orders above a specific value. Companies who are doing this are really seeing an uptake in their basket value, because people want free shipping, and then they're willing to pick that additional product, or pick that additional t-shirt, or pick that additional bottle of olive oil, in order to get that free shipping. And the last one, and this is something which we see now more and more, is making use of those subscription services. What Amazon is doing with their Amazon Prime, for example. But regardless of the size of your business, everybody can do this. And nowadays, people actually like it. People like to subscribe to a specific brand or to a specific merchant where they pay a fixed amount upfront, or per month, for example, in order to get some unique VIP style rights to get free shipping, or to get express shipping for 50% off, an example. So the big players out there are doing this, but actually everybody can do this. Everybody can have one of these subscription services. And once people have signed up, they will come back for more because they want to have value for money. So this is also one of the things you can think about in order to come up with your shipping and delivery strategy. Then the last one are delivery notifications mentioned on your website. People want to track their order. People want to know where their shipment is at what time, and people want to take full control of that delivery. Because if I buy something online today and it's delivered on Tuesday, I honestly don't know where I am on Tuesday. I have no clue. So I want to have the opportunity to take control of that delivery so that I can either postpone it, or have it delivered to my neighbors, or have it delivered a day later, an example, or hold it and I will pick it up at a service point. And all that is something you can do. An example via DHL Express, we are using on-demand delivery for this, which is a tool rolled out in almost every country in the world, now in 162 countries. I will not ask you to name them. But people want to have that option. And as you can see here, 49% actually expect an online retailer about communicating the status of their order. And this is not just about sending the email where you say, okay, your order has been shipped. But this is about keeping the consumer updated all the time where their shipment is and what they can do with their shipment. I was speaking to one lady in the UK, which was an online shopper. She was not a customer of DHL, but she was receiving a lot of shipments via DHL. She was receiving those all via on-demand delivery. And she called it on-demand delivery endorphins. She said, every time I get a text message of DHL I'm so happy. I was, okay, very nice to hear. But she said, yeah, because I'm shopping a lot online, I'm spending my money, but every time I get that message from DHL on my phone, for me it's actually, first of all, a confirmation that, hey, everything is going well, my shipping is on its way. And also, I'm excited because I looked for that product, I spent my money, and now every time I'm reminded that, oh, it's almost here, it's almost here, it's almost here. So it also has, from a customer loyalty perspective, actually a positive impact on your customers. And it's not only that, it's that delivery, as mentioned at the beginning, 70% of e-commerce is logistics. You can have the best online shopping experience. If you screw it up with the delivery and with the shipping and the delivery, and if that last mile experience is not positive, all those investments which were made on your website, etc., are for nothing. Because if I order something, the shopping experience was perfect, I click buy now. When I click buy now, that is not when the customer experience ends. That's actually perhaps even where the customer experience really starts. Because back in the day, when you were having your own shop, you could fully control the customer experience by training the people who were in your shop. And they could have a human interaction with your customers. Nowadays, the only human interaction there is between a brand and their customers is that DHL delivery courier, who shows up at the door with a smile, delivers the package, etc. And if that is done right, people will come back, and people will also, will be willing to spend more money. I want to close it off with one example. So this is one of the companies we work very closely with. It's a brand based in the UK called Gymshark. And this is a company we have really helped them to grow. They were founded in 2012. It was a guy, Ben, and Ben had created a nice t-shirt because he needed some money. So he created a nice t-shirt, he was wearing it in the gym, he was doing a lot of fitness, etc. And people were asking, hey, that's a nice t-shirt. Can I also have one? And I thought, okay, actually, there's a business model in there. So he started to sell them online. In 2014 it was, one of the DHL sales reps was driving back from his customer visits, and he saw, in a house, he saw 3 people very busy with boxes. And he saw a brand new Porsche standing in front of the door. So he thought, that's interesting. So he went there, he was asking, hey, who are you? And the guy said, yeah, we're Gymshark. Okay, so what do you do? You sell t-shirts. Where do you sell them? In the UK. Okay. Did you ever thought about going cross-border? They said, no, business is going well, we're growing 25%, we're very happy, look at my new car, which I just bought, so look, we're very happy guys. It took quite a while, but at one point, Gymshark decided, okay, let's open up our shop for cross-border. Let's put an express delivery option on there, let's state on our homepage that we will sell to the US, that we will sell to Germany, that we will sell to France, that we will sell to Australia, and let's see what happens. These are some of the things which happened. First of all, Gymshark saw a basket value increase of 70%. Their average order was £41, it went up to £70. Why? Because cross-border shipping, the cross-border customers, they tend to spend more money. It's simply true. They also put an express delivery option on there, and they were asking their customers money for it. So they had a free shipping option via post, and a paid shipping option. They were charging, I think, £15 for the express delivery option. Nowadays, 50% of their customers are choosing that express delivery option because they're excited they bought something from Gymshark and they're willing to pay that additional money to get the shipment as quickly as possible. They started to grow with 210% year on year. That's a very impressive number, but if you are generating 500,000 euros in revenue, growing 200% is okay. Nowadays, they're doing £40 million in revenue, and they're still growing with 210% year on year. I spoke to one of the guys at DHL who's managing Gymshark Saturday morning, because I asked, okay, how was their Black Friday? On Black Friday, they shipped 70,000 orders on one day. And the owner, Ben, he actually posted a video on social media where he was thanking all his people. They have now 300 employees. So they started with one guy, now 300 people. And he was actually thanking all of their employees, and he posted a video of when he started in 2012. in his own car with 5 boxes inside, where he was driving to the post office. He was nervous if he was actually getting orders, and then he was posting a video of his warehouse where he was shipping out 70,000 orders on one day. And that's a company which started in 2012. And it's actually now awarded with the #1 fastest growing UK company, and all because they went global. So, to close off, my advice to you is, first of all, globalization is here to stay. Think about going global, and don't think about going to only one country, or only going to Cyprus, or only going to Italy. No, the market is huge. So really think about take your business global. Second, think about a few of those quick fixes you can put on your website, like that banner in example, or stating delivery options on your website, in order to really speak to today's consumer. And lastly, really be aware of what today's customer is looking for. It's not just product, it's not just price, but it's really those shipping and delivery options via which you can create that competitive edge